The first station, Jesus is condemned to death. Jesus was wrongly accused of many crimes by people who were scared of him and didn't understand him. This is why he was sentenced to die. There are many people in this world who are still treated badly because they are different or other people don't understand them.
Pray for people who are wrongly accused of crimes. Pray for people who are mistreated because they are different. This could be because of their color of their skin, because of special needs, or even because their family can't afford to buy them all of the latest trendy things.
The second station, Jesus accepts the cross. Jesus carried his cross mostly by himself. It was big and heavy and would have been difficult, especially because he was already in pain from being beaten and mistreated. Jesus never complained about carrying his cross. We may not have to carry a big wooden cross, but we all carry burdens in our lives. Jesus carried his cross, and he wants us to offer up our burdens to him.
Pray for someone you know who is carrying a big burden in their life right now. Also pray for someone you don't know that God will help make their burdens light. Don't worry, God knows what they need, even if you don't know them. Pray that God gives you the patience to not complain about your burdens, but to offer them up to him.
The third station, Jesus falls the first time. Because of the heaviness of the cross and Jesus was already being hurt, he fell. Jesus shows us that we all fall down sometimes in life. It's not a sign of weakness to fall or fail. We are all brave by getting back up and trying again. When Jesus fell, the crowds would have mocked him. How often do we see others struggling in life and silently watch while people mock and for their shortcomings?
Pray for strength to not give up when things are difficult and to try again when you fail at something. Pray for a kind-hearted to help others when they are struggling and to not be someone that mocks others.
The fourth station, Jesus meets his mother. It must have been horrible for Mary to see her son in so much pain and suffering. For Jesus, however, it was probably a comfort to see that his mother had come for him. Sometimes it can be easy to be annoyed or angry with family members, but you must remember that your family should be the one of the most important things in your life. Love or care for them and let them love and care for you.
Pray for someone who is having trouble with their family or who had someone in their family be very sick or die. Ask God to comfort them. Pray that God helps you to love your family members. If you normally fight with someone in your family, especially pray for that person.
The fifth station, Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus carry his cross. Simon of Cyrene wasn't a friend or a follower of Jesus. He wasn't in the crowd to see Jesus. However, when soldiers ordered him to help Jesus carrying his cross, he did so. It's easy to offer help to people we know and like. It can be more difficult to offer help to people we don't know. It is important to help others throughout the world that we don't know through our prayers and actions.
Pray for people around the world who are struggling and are sick, poor, or have others treating them badly. Pray for those you don't know who need prayers and comfort. Pray that God shows you ways to be a help to people who are struggling, especially people you don't know.
Station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. When Veronica saw Jesus, she was moved to help him by wiping his face. This was a very brave thing to do since she could have gotten in trouble with the soldiers or others in the crowd may have treated her badly. There are times that we see people in need that might be unpopular, and it might be scary to be brave and do something kind for them or help them when they are in need.
Pray for God to comfort people who others are being unkind to. Pray that there will be people in their lives that will be brave and help them. Pray that God will help you to be brave and help people who are in need.
The seventh station, Jesus falls the second time. Jesus was exhausted and in pain. He fell a second time while he was carrying his cross. Still, he got back up and carried his cross again. All around us, there are people who are weighed down by problems and struggles. Maybe it is because they are very poor, or they are caring for someone who is sick, or even because they have lost hope that good things will still happen in their lives. Jesus is with all those people, and he is with us in our struggles every day too.
Pray for people you know and who you don't know that have so many struggles that they are having a hard time having hope that good things can still happen in your lives. Pray for ways to help people in your school or family who are having a hard time right now.
The eighth station, Jesus meets the woman of Jerusalem. When some women in Jerusalem saw Jesus and his suffering, they cried. He told them not to cry for him, but to cry for themselves and their children. Jesus calls us to cry out for people who are in need. There are people all over the world and in your community who are mistreated, hurt. They might be hungry, poor, homeless, abused, sick, or be in many other situations that have made their lives difficult.
Pray for them and cry out to God to help them. Pray that, like the woman of Jerusalem, you can be there for people in your life who need help, even if the only thing you can do is to let them know that you are there to be sad with.
Ninth station, Jesus falls the third time. The exhaustion and pain was too much for Jesus, and he fell a third time. It is easy to imagine that he might have had a hard time getting up again, but he got back up anyways. Can you think of a time when you kept being knocked down again and again? Maybe it was trying to learn to ride a bike, or maybe it was a school subject that you struggled with. When we keep having the same trouble over and over again, it can be easy to think of giving up. Jesus shows us that even at our most difficult times, we can look for him and try again.
Pray for someone at school who looks like they want to give up. Pray that God will give them strength to keep working on what has been difficult for them. Pray for strength for yourself to keep going when things are different.
The 10th station, Jesus is stripped of his clothes. When Jesus was stripped of his clothes, it wasn't because he had fancy clothes that the soldiers wanted. It was to try and make him feel embarrassed and make fun of him. Jesus gave up everything to save each and every one of us. When we think of him being stripped of his clothes, it can be a reminder of that.
Pray for people in the world who have nothing or nearly nothing. Pray to thank Jesus for his sacrifice for you and for all of us. Ask him to help you to be mindful of his sacrifices and all of his blessings in your life.
The 11th station, Jesus is crucified. It's hard to even try to imagine the unbearable pain that Jesus would have been in. Soldiers drove heavy nails through his hands and feet before lifting the cross for him to hang there. It would have been horrible. There are people suffering horribly every day in our communities, our country, and the world. There are people suffering because of things like hunger, homelessness, abuse, violence, mental illnesses, sickness and diseases, natural disasters, and wars. Sometimes these sufferings will look obvious to us, and other times they are hard for others to recognize. That does not mean that those people aren't also suffering.
Pray for comfort for people who are suffering, even if only God knows that they are in pain. Pray for a kind heart to be mindful that everyone needs kindness.
The 12th station, Jesus dies on the cross. As Jesus was dying, he didn't curse the people for what they had done or blame him for his suffering. Instead, he called out to God to forgive those people. Even in his last moments and death, he was thinking of the people he came to save. Throughout your life, you will have many times where you need to forgive people. Forgiveness isn't always easy. Sometimes it feels easier to stay mad or hold a grudge. Not only does God call us to forgive others, but when we forgive others, it usually makes us feel a lot better to let go of anger or hurt feelings.
Pray for people who are letting anger at others hurt their minds and hearts. Pray for peace for them. Pray that God will help you to forgive others when you have been hurt and to ask for forgiveness when you have hurt others.
The 13th station, the body of Jesus is taken down from the cross. After Jesus died, his body was taken down from the cross. He is placed in Mary's arms, even though we know the good news that is just days away. His mother and friends did not know what was about to happen. All they knew was their joy in having known him and their pain in his death. Even though we know we will be together with people we will love someday in heaven and we can enjoy memories of when they were alive, it can feel remarkably sad, and when someone we know and love passes away, these feelings are all normal and okay.
Pray for comfort for people who are sad because they have had family or friends die. You can pray for yourself if that includes you.
The 14th station, Jesus is laid in the tomb. Joseph of Arimathea was secretly a follower of Jesus. He bravely asked for the body of Jesus and offered to put his tomb into his own tomb. Since Jesus did not have one of his own, he cleaned and took care of Jesus' body and very respectfully put him away and laid him in the tomb. Many of the people who were crucified in the time of Jesus were not laid in tombs. They were seen as worthless people. Joseph of Arimathea showed a great amount of courage to make sure that Jesus' body was taken care of and laid in the tomb.
Pray for people who are brave in order to help other people. Pray that God will help you to have courage when you see things that you know are wrong and the bravery to do something about it.